this edition of CBAN Member Spotlight. I'm Curtis Dean, and we're here in Indianola, Iowa, where Indianola Municipal Utilities launched a fiber project just a few years ago. IMU Fiber is going strong, and we're here with Telecommunications Director Kurt Ripperger. Kurt, thanks for hosting us here at your lovely community. So talk a little bit about, people out there watching, they don't know Indianola from a hole in the ground. Tell them a little bit about Indianola Municipal Utilities and the IMU Fiber Project.
Yeah, we started our project about 4.5, 5 years ago. We started putting plant in the ground in September, October back in 2017. So we're coming up on our 5-year anniversary of putting outside plant in. We've been hooking customers up now for 3.5 years. And yeah, things are progressing right along, so we're doing good.
Now, you came on board when as part of that process?
Yeah, I came on board in the fall of 2017 in August. So I kind of came in after the project had been approved, but at that point they were just getting their contractors in line, and I came on when basically we started putting in the outside plant. So
you were there from kind of the beginning of the construction at least.
Yep.
So that's where you started, and when did you start hooking customers up?
Yeah, about a year later, the fall of 2018 is when we started hooking customers up. I think October was our first customer that we had on board, and yeah, it's gone up quickly since then. So
you're about what, 3.5 years in of hooking customers up, and where do you stand today?
Yeah, I just checked numbers this morning actually, since it was the end of the month. About 3,375 is where we're at right now. So, yeah.
Excellent. And meeting all your projections as far as where you guys thought you were being?
Yeah, our 5-year projection was actually 2,800, so we're well ahead of that.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, we actually hit that number last February. And I think probably by our official 5-year anniversary, we'll probably be at the 3,600 number. So
fantastic. And so now the system is completely done throughout the community now, right? I mean,
correct.
It's completed and ready to go, but you're still hooking people up, right?
Oh yeah, we definitely are. So word of mouth is great for us. The more people we get on, the more people they tell that, hey, you need to switch over to this. And it's still growing. We're not growing really, really quickly, but we certainly have new development areas on the edges of town that are being built, and we're there first with the fiber, so people have connectivity. So
fantastic. Now, we did a session like this with another community that was actually getting started up construction right during COVID. COVID hit when you were already in growth phase, but did COVID-19, did that have any impacts on your ability to roll out your services?
Yeah, we were fortunately far enough along at that point that it affected us to the extent that certainly at the beginning we had staffing issues, just trying to figure out who could be in the office, who couldn't be in the office, things like that. But really, after about the first month, we got back into a routine of still doing installs, and we're able to continue to do installs all the way through the pandemic. So it worked out well for us. But a lot of it had to do with where we were in the build-out process. And, we were there. We were kind of through our major curve of getting people hooked up. So installs had kind of started to slow down. We weren't using outside contractors anymore to help with that, so it was all just being done internally, so it was much easier to manage at that point. So,
well, timing is everything.
Yeah.
And in talking with the folks who was at Pella, and they were talking about in Pella, Iowa, the supply chain has been a challenge, but they're still way ahead of their projections. So it shows that when you're doing something well and there's a large community demand, that you can overcome some of those challenges.
Yeah.
So talk about what some of the challenges that you guys had in your rollout, because every project like this, brand new from the ground up, is going to have some things that maybe don't go as well as you'd like, and other things that go surprisingly better than you thought. What are some of the challenges you faced?
Yeah, I think obviously it's a huge learning curve whenever you start this. You're using new technology, new systems, and trying to make everything talk and everything work together. And you're fighting one issue on one spot, and you're trying to figure out whether it's an end product or an end user device, or if it's a provisioning sort of issue or things along those lines. So, that learning curve was steep, but once you got through it, things are much, much better at this point. There's, we laugh nowadays because there's really very few things that throw us for a loop anymore. Just because after a couple of years you've seen a lot of the issues, and you understand where things originated, probably what needs to change, or where you need to go look to solve a problem.
So what does your staffing look like? Obviously, the telecommunications division here of Indianola Utilities, brand new, so you had to start up with people like you being maybe hire number 1 or 2. Where are you at today, and how did that process go? Because I know a lot of communities, and when they're thinking about doing something like this, the biggest red flag they have is, I'm not going to be able to find people to do this.
Yeah. We were fortunate enough that originally Indianola had some fiber on the east side of town, so we had one person in the utility that was kind of managing the outside plant stuff or taking care of that. So obviously he was one of our first hires. And then from there, then we were really looking for those technical people, the engineer support. We were able to find a couple of those people locally, and then a couple more tech people. So right now we stand at 3 outside plant techs. I've got 3 engineering staff and then myself, so there's 7 of us.
And then your customer service people.
Yeah, the customer service people as well. Though, and it's probably a little different than a lot of people. We do a lot of our own technical support calls here up at this office, as opposed down to the customer service center. So.
And that customer service staff is shared with your electric and water utilities,
exactly.
Which is fairly typical for a lot of the municipals that have out there, where it's basically an add-on there.
Sure.
Talk about your facilities. We're here in your operations center, and tell us a little bit about what all you do here in this facility and what your other facilities are that you have.
Yeah, we run everything really pretty much out of this location. This is the old electric line shop that we remodeled for fiber. Ended up losing one of the bays that the electric guys used to use. Turned that into office space. So we have our network operations center where the engineers work out of, as well as the techs land and can log into their computers, things like that. Central office CO sits right outside in our backyard. And then we feed cabinets, a GPON system out from there. Yep. So really all of our technical side, all of our equipment and everything, our active equipment is right here at this location in town. So.
And you kind of almost have a little campus here, right? Because you got your, right down the street here is the customer service center.
Yep. Yep. They're real close too. And then the electric department's just over on the other side of town. So. Yeah.
Right. So here in this location, what are the technicians that are in your NOC? What are they doing on a normal basis? Are they monitoring systems? Are they taking phone calls, or a little bit of everything?
Yeah, we've got one tier 2 person that takes the vast majority of the calls. He'll also go out and solve quick little problems like remotes, things like that, or if no NT needs to be rebooted, those sort of things. We're still very, very busy with new installs. So normally during a normal week, 4 days out of the week, our techs are just doing installs. So we try to take Fridays off from the installs to get prepped for the following week. It drops in, things along those lines, so we're ready to go for the next week. And then the engineering staff, they're always constantly working on updates, improvements. Obviously technology never stands still, so there's always something to be doing, something to be testing, things along those lines. So yeah.
And you guys, I know when you came out of the gate, I believe your first tier of services were 100 megabits per second, which is again pretty common for newer municipal systems. But since then you've actually upped that speed, haven't you?
We have, yeah. We upped the 2 lower tiers. So our base tier now is 200 meg. The next step up is 400, and then we're offering the gig as our fastest at this point. So yeah.
Still, probably most of your customers on that 200 meg tier.
Yeah, certainly the vast majority of them are. Though we have a good take rate at the 400 and the gig level too. So it's those hit pretty much where the business plan thought they would. So yeah.
Great. Now you mentioned your GPON system right now. Do you have like a plan for any moving to any other technologies in the future? I know a lot of systems are using XGS-PON, which ability to do faster speeds, more than a meg or more than a gig.
Yeah, we're taking a look at some XGS stuff. So hopefully we'll get a card in later this year and start testing that. We haven't had a lot of demand for that yet. We haven't heard from the community, but I think if we have it out there and we could offer speeds above 1 gig, we would certainly have some takers. So
right now you could take care of those people if you had a business or somebody else that had a use case for it. It's just that the mass market, the average home or business not asking for it at this point. So you guys are obviously still in growth phase. You've also recently, in the past year or so, been looking at some opportunities for growth, not only here in the city limits, but also outside the area. Talk about some of the unserved areas that you're looking at helping out.
Yeah, well, the last NOFA map that came out, NOFA 7, allowed us to take a look at some census blocks to the north and the south, just outside of town. We were awarded grants for 1 census block to the north and then 3 to the south. So all combined, out of those 4 census blocks, there's about another 100 customers out there that we hope to be able to provide service to in the next 2 to 3 years. So, yeah.
Is that a project that you're designing right now, or in the process of procuring materials and all that stuff?
Yeah, we're looking at engineering on the 3 south census blocks right now. The north one, Indianola's building a new sewer plant out there, so we were already headed that direction with dark fiber. So we're just going to kind of tweak that project a little bit to be able to pick up those houses along the way. So, which will be nice.
And that was the smaller of the.
It was,
out there.
Yeah.
As time goes on, if there are more opportunities for funding out there, is that something you guys continually take a look at if there are opportunities?
Yeah, I think we'll have to take a look at it, see what the dollar match is, and then the density. I mean, that's really what drives this whole thing. If you can find enough houses and enough customers out there that want it, and it's a short enough distance to get there, and the dollars work on the state side, then yeah, we would definitely take a look at it. So, yeah.
Might be people watching this video, Kurt, that are, say, maybe where Indianola was 5 or 6 years ago. They're maybe thinking about doing something. They're not sure if they should. They're not sure if it's a project that they need to do, or they think it's a project that needs to happen, but they're maybe not sure if the municipality is the one to take care of it. Any advice for those people as they're trying to explore their options?
I mean, it's worked. I think one of the things we have an advantage over the incumbent providers here in town is we are small. We know our customers because we live in town for the most part. We're very, very close. We offer very quick support and very, very local support, for a lack of a better term. But I mean, the people we talk to on the phone, Dylan could talk to somebody, and 5 minutes later be out their house helping them out. So, and we find that people like that and they pass that information on. They're not waiting days or weeks to get tech support and things like that.
I was going to say, I'm willing to bet you wouldn't probably have whole neighborhoods in town out of internet for 4 days.
We certainly try not to.
Yeah. I keep bringing that up because that happened to me about 2 weeks ago, and it was pretty darn painful. And the biggest challenge for me as a customer for a rather large company was I couldn't talk to the right people. I couldn't talk to anybody that could solve my problem. I could only talk to people who could sympathize with me, pass it up the chain, and the chain never really got that message.
Yeah, and I think that's what the people here in town like. And again, the person you're talking to on the phone is likely either the person that's going to come out or they're going to tell you who's going to come out. I mean, when I'm talking to somebody on the phone, if I need to send a tech out, I'll be like, Eric will be there in 10 minutes, and Eric's the guy that shows up at your door, so they're expecting that. And and then if there's a follow-up that needs to be done, again, Eric can go back out, or they can call and talk to me, or things like that. So there's continuity in there too. So.
Hometown difference makes a big difference. What kind of bandwidth is your system using? I mean, how much backbone internet do you have to support your customers now, and is that continuing to grow pretty fast?
Yeah, they're continuing to grow pretty quickly. We built the system based on 2,800 customers in 5 years, obviously with close to 3,400 now, and not quite to 5 years. Bandwidth has definitely increased. So we're looking at increasing that transport in between our 2 redundant links. And we think we've got a pretty good plan to get us pretty well set for the future. But yeah, it is definitely growing faster than what we thought it might. So,
and that's probably something you have to monitor fairly closely to make sure that customers aren't affected.
Yeah, we watch that every night, and as we need to increase, we can increase. Right now, we're running about 75% of our total capacity, so we still have headroom, and we have time to develop or get the new system into place. So yeah,
right.
We'll be good.
Well, it's great to see things are coming well. I mean, it's been a while since I've actually been here. It's been a while since I've been anywhere, so it's really nice to be able to sit down face to face and talk to people. And thank you for your time. Thanks for being a CBAN provider member. And Kurt, if anybody is out there is watching, is looking for a brain to pick, I suppose they could probably give you a call.
Definitely give me a call. I've talked to people before and happy to talk to more people in the future. So yeah, happy to share. We picked the brains of a lot of other utilities while we were getting started on this as well. So I mean, have questions, feel free to call me. So.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons CBAN started, is to have that knowledge sharing that, if you don't know who to talk to, maybe CBAN can help put you in touch with a Kurt Ripperger or somebody with another telecommunication utility that has been there and done that, so you can learn not only from their successes but also from their mistakes.
Yep, because people always tell you about, we did this, you might not want to go.
Yeah, you want to do that.
So, yeah.
Well, hey, Kurt, thanks. Appreciate your time. This is Kurt Ripperger with Indianola Municipal Utilities, IMU Fiber, joining us here on our CBAN Member Spotlight.